Hello. So today we are going to do what my son calls his super salad, or actually it's my salad, but he calls it the super salad. And it's a protein-packed salad, a lot of good stuff. It's not so cheap, but you'll find that it's really a good salad. So that's why I'm making it. I started off by soaking some chickpeas and then I boiled them for around 30 minutes. And again, the chickpeas are much better, I find, when you do this and not buying the canned ones. You can buy canned ones as well. It doesn't matter, but this I think is better, and of course it's cheaper. Many times, I don't know about you, but you find out that all of your onions, they keep hanging and you don't use all of them. You find something in the back of the cabinet and they're not usable anymore. So this I'm having around, I would say, 5 onions, around 100-150 grams of red onion that I'm going to chop up and roast in the oven as well together one. And sort of the main event as well is sweet potato. So after Halloween, maybe you can even find it at a discount, because at least here in the Nordics, people eat sweet potatoes once a year around Halloween and then never eat it again. So it's quite an affordable, and it's also not so protein heavy, but also quite good on calories. So 100 grams of a sweet potato is only 80 calories. So it's quite light in that way. What is not so light is then that I'm going to use feta cheese. So feta cheese, real feta cheese. I don't use anything else because the salad cheeses are not so great. And then some spinach. I had the ambition to use kale, but there was no kale, and the kale that had was really expensive. So that's what we'll have today. I'm gonna make a dressing as well after then, but also gonna make a rub for the actual ingredients going into the oven. So you start off by actually chopping onion, sweet potato, and then the chickpeas, and then rubbing them in and put them into the oven. So I'll do that. I'll tune back into when I'm making the rub. So now I have finished chopping the vegetables, as you can see here. A full kind of tray of chickpeas and also of sweet potatoes. There's no exact science in how big and so on. Sort of fork-sized chunks of the sweet potato is good. And also when it comes to the onion, they're kind of this. And you don't put the onion in with the sweet potatoes and the chickpeas, because you want them to roast to become a bit crispy, and then after a while then you put in the onion, otherwise the onions will burn. So now I'm going to show you how to make the rub, and then what you do is you blend the rub together with some lemon and some olive oil into before you put it into the oven. I'm going to make the spice blend. First, a little bit of my philosophy on spices. I steal a lot from different cultures and so on. No pun intended as such, but I really like different foods and so on. And sort of sometimes I eliminate things that I don't like. For instance, here you could potentially also use things like ginger, ground ginger, or ground coriander. Now, I find that, especially in this taste, when you add, for instance, ground coriander, it does give a little bit of almost too much of a dry taste. And coriander gives a little bit too bitterness, as well as adding turmeric. So I don't really go that far on sort of the Indian spice route on this one. This sort of blends somewhere in between the Middle East, North Africa / Mexican actually. So I use a lot of forgot what it was, cumin. So this is ground cumin. Then this is probably around 2 tablespoons, just to have enough for the rub. Then I use this is smoked paprika, and I probably use quite a lot of that as well. Not probably, I do. So 2 tablespoons of that as well. And then optional, I would say, is then to add some heat. This is my own sort of dried chili. It's pretty hot, so I don't add that much. Maybe let's say 1 teaspoon. I've tried as well with cayenne. Cayenne is also good, but then you can't be so heavy-handed on that one either, because then it will be really too overpowering. And that's sort of the base, and you add that with some lemon juice, and then probably around 20 milliliters of olive oil, and then you start massaging everything together on the plate to get all the spices into to the vegetables, and then you put it into the oven. Also optional, because it does add calories, but I kind of find that, you know, before serving, and I'll show it here, optional, is to add honey, because I think that it elevates the flavors quite well when you get that rustic kind of almost burnt flavor sometimes with some of the vegetables. Then blend that with the feta cheese and also some of the greens, so that's really good. Of course, you also have the salt and pepper. I mean, that almost goes without saying, but I'll add that as well. And that's more to taste. So you add a good kind of grind across when you do that. First, you add the olive oil, and then you add the spice rub, and then you put it into the oven. And in the oven is probably around, in total, 40 minutes. Again, you need to go and poke it. You don't want especially the sweet potatoes to go mushy, so it's important to make sure that you also turn it around a bit so they get a nice sort of coloring, but also don't go mush. And probably around 20 minutes in, you add the onions. So that's essentially what we will do. I'm not going to sort of show you when I kind of massage all the spices in. If you would like to see that, I can of course add a separate section of that, but it's really no magic to it. You can just watch somebody like Jamie Oliver or any normal chef to do it. It's just blending it together and then massaging, making sure that you get enough kind of covering of the spices on your vegetables. So now I've finished coating, as you can see here. It's a nice, really nice coating on the vegetables. So really smear that in, and now on into the oven. So now I think we are about 25 minutes in, maybe a bit more. I'm now adding the onions into the oven. So that then can continue to bake for around maybe 20 minutes in order to at least the sweet potatoes will be nice and soft. So now I have taken out the salad from inside the oven. It's cooled down. I had it cooling down in the oven, and now you can see chickpeas are really crunchy. The onion is caramelized, and then these sweet potatoes, they're a bit soft and then a little bit also charred, so it's perfect to start actually then doing the final thing, which is basically then to crumble in the feta cheese here and basically put that into the bowl, and you basically just crumble it in, and then after that you add the whole bag of spinach as well. So I have this spinach here, which I'm also going to put in its entirety. So it will be quite a lot. So you'll see that it will look a bit messy here first, and you need a big salad bowl in order to do it. But before I start actually then massaging everything in, I will add the juice of, well, here is 1 lemon. So probably half of this, and then maybe another kind of 10 milliliters of olive oil, maybe 20 milliliters of olive oil, and then massage that in with your hands, because if you don't do it with your hands, the risk with becoming soggy and also breaking especially the sweet potatoes can be a bit mushy, so it's better to do it by hands because then you have more control. So I'll do that, And then finally, I will also do a small mint and coriander yogurt, which is optional, but I like to have it, especially if you don't have any meat with it. It's good to sort of cut the taste because it could be a little bit salty and so on. I think that combination with mint and coriander with yogurt is a really, really good combination to sort of like cut through that and give sort of a nice kind of contrast to the overall dish. So now the salad is blended. I'll show you and also taste it in a second, but now I'm going to make the yogurt. Here I have some mint. What I do is that I don't throw all the herbs away. Is that before they go a little bit stale, I normally make a yogurt or sort of like a rub or something like that to not make it go to waste, because especially parsley, you can make nice pestos and so on, blending in garlic and olive oil and so on. But here with mint, same thing with coriander. I add the same amount of coriander, and this is an acquired taste, so if you don't like coriander, then you can leave it out. I tend to find that when you blend mint and coriander together, it gives a really nice sort of taste when you then also add a bit of honey, so not much, but a bit, into the bowl here. So do that, and then a bit of I don't know, it's difficult to get away, but I'll fix that. A bit of lemon as well, and then about 1 deciliter of yogurt. This is a basic yogurt, 3.5%. Could be less, could be more, but 3.5 makes it nice, a little bit runny as well, so it goes well over as a dressing, and it's not so many calories. So I'll do that. I'll mix it with a mixer, and then you'll see the final result. So I'll do that sort of off camera. The final product, as you can see here, and I just scooped that and made a portion here with the mint and coriander yogurt. And on popular request, I'm also going to take a bite so you can see me actually enjoying the food. So here, the final product. So you really should need to have some of the greens, some of the feta salad, the feta cheese, and then when you combine all of that, and also with the crunchiness of the chickpeas, it's a really well balanced dish. And then what's also good is that you don't need any meat with it. This portion as such is probably around maybe 500 calories, 500 calories, maybe a bit more. And because chickpeas has a lot of calories in them, I think it's around 280. I think it's around 280 calories per 100 grams. So similar as feta. So it does give a lot of calories. And what you can do is, of course, you can take away some of that, and then you can add chicken. Sometimes you had kind of a chicken breast or so on, but it does add cost to the dish. This in total, this whole bowl, likely for 4 people. I mean, you can be the judge yourself, but at least for 4 people, will set you back less than €2 per person. And again, no meat, fantastic flavors, and something really to spice things up during the week, and something to maybe also clean out your cupboard on excess stuff that you might have that you don't use, such as the onions, or maybe a feta cheese that doesn't get used, and then expose the family to new things that they might not have eaten before. So this is my version of what we call the super salad. I hope you enjoy the recipe and the video.